In July of 2026, the average American worker got a raise. Wages across the country rose 3.5%. Prices rose 3.4%, which means the entire national raise, every negotiation, every promotion, every extra shift somebody picked up, netted out to about $1 more per week. $1. That is not a budgeting problem. You cannot coupon your way out of $1. And yet almost every conversation about why people feel broke still ends with somebody suggesting you skip the coffee. So today, I want to show you the actual machine underneath this. Because once you can see it, the frustration stops feeling irrational and starts looking like data. Start with the thing that confuses everybody. You keep hearing that inflation has come down. That is true. And you keep feeling broke. That is also true. Both can be true at the same time, because inflation coming down does not mean prices coming down. It means prices are climbing more slowly. Since early 2020, cumulative prices are up roughly 25%, and that increase does not reverse. It got built into the base, into your rent, your groceries, your insurance premium. And every future increase now stacks on top of it. Think of it as a ratchet. It only turns one way. When Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell was asked about this gap, he did not argue with people. He said households are still carrying embedded higher costs from 2022 and 2023, and that it will take years of significantly positive real compensation before affordability starts feeling normal again. Years from the Fed itself. That is your first clue that what you are feeling is structural, not personal. Now here's the part almost nobody explains. For most of the last 15 years, the American raise did not really come from your employer. It came from leaving your employer. Companies price new hires against the live market. They price existing employees against a budget. So the person who walks in the door gets today's number, and the person who stayed gets last year's number, plus a percentage. That difference has a name: the job switching premium. And it is the single biggest mechanism by which ordinary workers got real raises. At the peak in 2022, Bank of America Institute data had job switchers pulling wage growth near 18%, while people who stayed put got about 7%. By the first quarter of 2026, that gap had compressed to 3 points, the narrowest in 7 years. ADP's separate payroll measure put the premium at just 1.9 percentage points. In early 2026, the smallest gap since they began tracking it, the escalator did not slow down. It stopped. And it stopped because the labor market froze. Look at the mechanics. The hiring rate is running around 3.4%. The quits rate has been stuck at 2% for over a year, down from 3% at the peak. The layoff rate is about 1.1%. Economists call this low hire, low fire. Employers are not cutting people, but they are not adding them either, and that combination produces something genuinely strange. Near-record job security, sitting right next to near-record hopelessness about finding work. If you already have a job, you are unusually safe. If you are looking for one, you are stuck. More than a quarter of unemployed Americans have now been out of work 27 weeks or longer. Almost nobody is being fired into the street. The people already outside simply cannot get back in. So when someone tells you the economy is strong and you still cannot get a call back, you are not misreading the data. You are living in the half of it that never makes the headline. Now put those two facts side by side, because this is where the trap actually closes. Your costs reprice every single year, automatically. Rent renewal, insurance renewal, utility rate case, streaming increase. Nobody asks your permission and nobody needs your consent. Your income reprices only when you change jobs, and the market for changing jobs just froze. That is the whole thing. Your expenses run on a floating rate, and your income runs on a fixed one. That is not a discipline failure. It is an asymmetry. And when a household runs that asymmetry long enough, credit quietly becomes the shock absorber. As of the New York Fed's August 2026 report, Americans owe $1.26 trillion on credit cards, right up against the record. Of the roughly 175 million cardholders, about 60% carry a balance from month to month. The Fed's own researchers now describe it as a K-shaped economy. One group building wealth, another group borrowing just to stand still. Once the card is the shock absorber, a flat tire stops being a cash flow event and becomes a balance sheet event at 20+% interest. So what actually moves the needle when the escalator is off? First, the switching premium shrank, but it did not go to zero. As of this summer, ADP still measures it around 2.5 points, and it runs far higher in construction, mining, skilled trades, and finance. In a frozen market, the reward migrates towards scarce skill rather than general willingness to work hard. That is a different instruction than the one most of us were raised on. Second, if your costs reprice every year and your income does not, then repricing your costs is the highest paid work available to you. Reshopping auto and home insurance, challenging a lease renewal instead of signing it, moving a revolving balance off a 20% card. That is real money per hour of effort, and it is the one side of the equation you can force to move without anyone's approval. Third, protect the shock absorber. The difference between a household that survives a frozen market and one that gets buried by it is usually just whether the emergency lands on cash or on a credit line. Here is what I want you to walk away with. The rules of the game changed, and nobody sent out an announcement. An entire generation was handed a formula. Work hard, stay steady, move up, that quietly depended on a labor market that no longer functions the way it did when that advice was written. You are not failing at the old game. You are being scored by a new one. And the people who figure that out first stop optimizing their coffee budget and start optimizing the only two things that still respond: what their skill is priced at, and what their fixed costs are contracted at. The frustration was never irrational, it was just early. If this reframes something for you, subscribe. And tell me in the comments which side you are feeling more right now, the frozen job market, or the costs that reprice every single year. Financial disclosure. The content in this video is for educational and informational purposes only and does not constitute financial, investment, tax, or legal advice. Always do your own research and consult a qualified professional before making financial decisions. As always, stay focused, stay consistent, stay elite.